All right, let's just get right into it. If you have your sights set on a top consulting firm, especially McKinsey, you're going to want to pay very close attention. The entire recruiting game has just been turned on its head. That predictable timeline you thought you had, yeah, that's completely out the window. And here's why. March 29th. Mark that date. That is the brand new application deadline for McKinsey's U.S. undergraduate internships. And listen, this isn't some small adjustment. This is a massive leap forward, pulling the whole recruiting calendar up by months. So if your plan was to kind of chill this spring and then get serious over the summer, it's time for a new plan, starting today. And this just shows you how huge this shift really is. I mean, look at this. We went from this leisurely pace of applying in the summer and interviewing in the fall to a dead sprint where everything, applications, interviews, the whole shebang is done before summer even starts. Consulting is now playing by the same high-speed rules as investment banking. It's a whole new ballgame. So, who gets hit the hardest by this change? Well, it's gotta be the one-year master's students. Just think about it for a second. Their programs don't even start until the fall. With this new deadline, they might have to get their McKinsey application in before they've even had their first class. It's kind of crazy. Okay, but don't freak out. We're going to give you a battle plan. We've talked about the new clock. Next up, we'll dig into why networking is now absolutely everything. Then I'm going to walk you through a 3-phase outreach plan, how to nail those informational calls, and the big one, how to lock in that referral. Let's do this. So let's talk about why networking is everything, especially now. With this timeline being so squeezed, you just can't afford to just have a good resume. You need something more, and the data shows that one thing, it changes your odds completely. Which leads us to the million-dollar question, right? We're always told to network, but how much does it actually matter? Is getting a referral just a nice little bonus, or is it, the key to the whole kingdom? Okay, now look at these numbers. This is fascinating. The data shows that if you have 0 touch points with a firm, you just submit your application online and hope for the best, you've got about a 20% chance of getting an interview. But what if you have 10 or more touch points? Your chances skyrocket to 80%. That is a 4x increase. This isn't just a tiebreaker, people. It is the game. So here's the bottom line. Your case prep and your networking have to happen at the same time, not one after the other. A perfect resume that nobody sees is basically worthless. But a good resume that gets walked over to the hiring manager by someone they trust, that's an interview. You absolutely need an advocate inside the firm. All right, on to your 3-phase outreach plan. So hopefully I've convinced you that you need to be networking like crazy. The good news, there's a method to the madness. Here's how you do it. I want you to think of your outreach like a funnel. You start wide and easy, then get more targeted. Phase 1, your immediate network, people you know, easy. Phase 2, friends of friends, that's your once-removed network. And Phase 3 is where you get creative. You're looking for alumni from your school, people from your hometown, anyone with a shared background. And right now, don't be picky. Any contact at the firm is a good contact. Now, when you're reaching out to a total stranger, your first message is make or break. A template like this works so well because it shows you did your homework. You find a real specific connection. And then, this is the secret sauce, you ask about their experience. You make it about them. It's flattering, and it shows you're not just blasting out a generic email to 100 people. Okay, let's talk about mastering the informational call. Getting someone to say yes to a call is a victory, for sure. But it's really just the beginning. Now you've got to turn that chat into a real connection. You have to do your prep work. Before you ever get on that call, you need 3 things ready to go. 1, know what you actually genuinely want to learn from them. 2, have your 30-second elevator pitch and your why consulting story down cold. And 3, you absolutely must research them on LinkedIn and come up with questions specifically for them. And during the call itself, remember, it's a conversation, not a job interview. Don't just fire off a list of questions like a robot. Listen to their answers. Ask follow-up questions. Be curious. You'll know you're doing it right if it feels less like an interview and more like you're just having a really interesting chat. And here is a fantastic pro tip for you. At the end of every single good call, you need to play tag. It's simple. You just say something like, "This was incredibly helpful. I'm really focused on the Chicago office. I don't suppose you know anyone there I could chat with?" This is how you turn one cold email into a whole chain of warm introductions, and believe me, those are gold. And you're not done when you hang up the phone. First, take a minute to actually reflect. Is this company a good fit for you? Then, update your notes. And please, for the love of all that is good, send a personalized thank you note within 24 hours. Mention something specific from your conversation. It shows you were listening, and it keeps that relationship warm. Which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, securing a referral. This is the most delicate part of the whole dance, turning a great conversation into a powerful endorsement that gets your resume to the top of the pile. And there is one golden rule here, and it's non-negotiable. You hint, you do not ask. Directly asking, hey, can you refer me, is just awkward. It puts them on the spot. The pro move is to make it incredibly easy and natural for them to offer to refer you. So how do you hint? It's a simple 3-step play. At the end of your call, first, you confirm your interest. This conversation has totally confirmed this is where I want to be. Second, you state your plan. I'm definitely applying in the next couple of weeks. And third, you ask for their advice. Do you have any advice for me as I finalize my application? If they are willing to refer you, that is their cue. That's when they'll say, yeah, send me your resume. And if they don't offer on the call, you've got one last move. A week or two before the deadline, just reply to that thank you email you sent them. A quick, friendly note, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm submitting my application next week. Thanks again for all your help. It's a gentle nudge that puts you back on their radar and gives them one last no-pressure chance to help out.
Okay, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. First, the deadline is March 29th. The clock is ticking fast. Second, networking is your superpower. It takes your odds from 20% to 80%. Use that 3-phase plan to get those calls scheduled. Remember to play tag to turn one contact into many. And finally, the golden rule, hint, don't ask for that referral.
So that's the new reality. This isn't a fire drill. It's the real thing. The deadline is set in stone. So the only question left to answer is the one right there on your screen. Who are you messaging first?